Previously on The World's Greatest Wagon Build, we finished the rotating assembly, tapped some pistons, ground some valves, and got the head on. This week, we're finishing up the rest of the engine. This includes the cams, VANOS, and everyone's favorite, timing. I'm especially nervous about this because we took 8 thousandths off the block and 5 thousandths off the head. Will the valves and pistons kiss? Maybe. Shoot! Getting a closer look at the VANOS upper timing chain guide, it's certainly more stout than OEM. Should last for time to come. Okay, pay attention, because mixing this up will grenade your engine. Intake, exhaust cams. How do you know the difference? Well, there's 2 ways to find out for sure. The first is you can count the number of teeth on this reluctor wheel, and the intake has 6, evenly spaced, easy peasy. The exhaust has 7, with a pretty big gap between 2 of them. That's one way. The second way is if you look at the hole where the alignment pins go in, there is a notch on the intake cam that's not there on the exhaust cam. Popping these shims in so we can get a baseline measurement for our VJ, the valve job. A for exhaust, nice and labeled, A2 all the way to A7, and then same for the intake, E2 all the way to E7. Let's get shimmy with it. We've got feeler gauges, we've got shims, we've got a tool of my own creation. You can do anything. Ingenuity at its finest. So we want 0.229 mil to not fit, and we want 0.178 mil to fit. And that's the upper and lower range of the spec here. So as long as we're somewhere in the middle, we're golden. Fortunately, I already did these first 2. So I'm going to put in 0.178 mil just to show you that it fits. Slight resistance, beautiful, exactly what you want. And when we try and get the 0.229 in, no chance. No chance at all. Cool. So we just got to knock out all of them. Okay, we'll do one together and you'll just have to trust that I did the rest. So the first thing is to get the cams, the lobes pointing straight up. Beautiful. I'll take a quick baseline measure. We're going to start with the upper end of the spec. Oh, that fits there. So we're going to have to tighten that one up. So we slide the arm out of the way, insert my homemade tool. Oh, beauty. Remove the shim. We're going to take the shim we just removed, we're going to pop it into the caliper. And this is coming in at 2.23 mil. We're going to drop it in with that, and we're going to grab 2.22 back to the homemade tool, pop the new shim on, Pop it in there. Slide this back over. We can still very easily get this one in. We went the wrong way. I'm a silly goose. We actually went looser. We wanted to get it tighter. So here's one tighter than last time. Perfect. So that 0.229 no longer fits, which is the upper end of the spec. Now we go to the tighter one. Fits with a bit of drag, and we are done. Okay, I'm gonna knock these out and get back to you when it's all done. Well, these two are out of spec, and can you guess which ones I need? Great! Got him. Shout out to the community for this one. Okay. We've got our timing tool. We're gonna pop it on top. And it's E for intake and A for exhaust. BMW's service manual actually dictates that you do one pin at a time rather than two at the same. So here's a little confirmation that I kind of know what I'm doing. Boom. Beauty. Okay, top dead center for the cams. And now we can put the engine back into top dead center. And take this chance to reconfirm our timing. So reassembling these is pretty straightforward. The only things you have to know is that the exhaust has the tabs, whereas the intake does not. And then for these, the spline shafts, the exhaust shaft is longer than the intake. So as long as you don't mix those two up, you'll be fine. In terms of reassembly, we're just gonna grab this piece here. We're gonna grab this conical washer with the A facing towards you, drop that in. And then this dog tooth sort of collar here. It doesn't matter, they're the same. It looks like it's been riding on this, so I'll just keep it in that way. I want to see the clean side. Bang. That's good. Now we can install the sprockets over there and start feeding these in. So we're gonna install these with the dots facing up, and up being in relation to the engine. That's good and vertical there. Same thing for the exhaust. Okay, so with the hubs installed and the hardware finger tight, we can check the amount of travel in the VANOS. So if we're looking at this dot, it's currently looking at about this chain mark here, and the correct amount of travel here is about 4 links. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get to here, we're golden. Bang, bang. So this side's good, and we want them nice and equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Beauty. That means the VANOS can travel the amount it wants, and we're golden. Now I didn't mark this when I took it apart, so we need to figure out how or where to put the spline shaft in relation to here. And the way to do that is to kind of fiddle around with it until you find a tooth that really easily slides in and immediately rotates the VANOS. So if we look here, now it's lined up, and the second I push it in, the VANOS rotates. The hub rotates. Ah! See that? In. Rotation immediately. So I'm gonna mark that quickly. And just for some peace of mind to know, let's say I take it off that tooth and I rotate it to here. I need to rotate the hub first before the spline shaft slides in. Won't go in, have to rotate first and then it'll go. We don't want that. We want a first shot hit. Boom, that's the tooth I marked. Bang. Beaut. Pop the spline shafts back on the VANOS unit. Do a little painting. And then put it on the engine. Oh, beautiful. Getting close to the moment of truth here. Okay, now for the moment of truth, I have to rotate this 2 full revolutions and check the timing. If it's right, great. If it's wrong, oh no. And I will be honest, my heart is pounding. That's 1. That's 2. All right, my heart is absolutely beating through my chest right now. So, moment of truth. Do I know how to build an engine? Yikes. Yikes. Now what? What do I do? Shoot. Okay. We've done a little investigation. So, that's butter. That's also butter. But, looks like we're about 1 tooth off. Learning happens when you mess up. It went back together much faster the second time around. I took it apart, I put it back together, I retimed it, and now we're chilling, baby. And now it's a matter of wrapping up the engine. We'll get on those famous ITBs. Pop on the clean valve cover with new gaskets. And finally, some shiny pieces. I've been looking at this box for weeks. We're going cat loose! We'll put the gaskets on later. I just want a little test fit. See what we're working with and how cool they look. Oh. You're good. There's that famous aftermarket fitment. Well, that looks like an engine to me, and it's my first engine build. Super excited to toss this in the wagon. It's gonna take some time, but in the coming weeks, we'll shift our attention to the suspension, the interior, the exterior, everything else that makes an M3 an M3. Will it start? I don't know. Does it look good? I think so. And that wraps up the S54 build. Thank you so much for watching. In the coming weeks, we shift our attention to everything else this build needs. But until then, enjoy.